I did actually watch the Makerfield talk that they all did as well earlier. I was talking on the phone to somebody, and they were like, "Oh, have you seen the Lotus Eaters Makerfield breakdown?" And I was like, "What are they coping?" They were kind of coping a little bit, but then I did listen to it, and I gotta say, everybody now all of a sudden seems to understand that the southern perception of Burnham is very different from the northern perception of Burnham. And I was like, wow, that's bizarre. That's almost like I said that. It's almost like I was trying to warn you about that. It's almost like our perception of economics is different based on the north-south divide. It's almost like every single talking point people are now picking up about Burnham. I was saying this a month ago. He was talking about battling the north-south divide. I was saying a month ago he was talking about merging Westminster into helping the North and talking about economics that help the North, like reindustrialization. It's very much so the Southerners that like this idea about business and this bourgeoisie attitude when it comes to economics. And they mainly just think, government, fuck off. Well, we think government, help us, please. You've left us to the dust. You've left us to the foxes. We're dying up here. There is no business. There is no infrastructure. There is no investment up in the North. And there is that clear difference between the way in which the South perceives the role of government and the way in which the North perceives the role in government. And again, as I mentioned about Burnham's campaign, which was also a talking point which was pulled up in this episode. So I don't know if the Lotus Eaters or Connor Tomlinson are hate watching me after I called Connor an idiot and said the Lotus Eaters are just liberals. Most of them are. I don't know if they're hate watching me, but a lot of my talk, listen, plagiarism, I get it. Copy my homework, just change it a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I just think it's very funny that after the Makerfield loss, that everything I was saying for a long time, everyone now agrees with it. They're actually like, yeah, well, I think this about Burnham, and I think this about the North-South divide, and I think this is the way in which Southerners vote, and this is the way in which Northerners vote, and I think that Burnham had a good campaign. You know how I was saying that his campaign was for us? How it was kind of like collectivism, it was nativism, and I said that's a good thing for the North. People like that. It's kind of like the Corbyn aesthetics, but it's a Northern version. It's the Northern version to try and grab back those old generational voters. And this is what I want to point out. This is something they did say. They said that Reform's vote share had gone down by 16% in this last local election, this last by-election, compared to the 2024 general election in Makerfield. Now, what you also can analyze from this, which for some reason they didn't pick up, but I did pick up, is Labour's vote share went up by 20%. What did I say? What have I been saying continuously over and over and over again? I keep saying that the reason for that is that a lot of the Reform voters are ex-generational Labour voters that have given Reform their vote because they see Labour has betrayed them, and they would never vote Tory, so they've gone with Reform. So that was kind of what I've been saying, and now people are beginning to pick up on the fact that this nativism, this Labour-red nativism, is a thing up in the North, and the fear of the Red Wall once again lurks over, the casting shadow lurking over all of our politics. So I did see that. I thought it was pretty interesting, the shift in tone since before the election results till after the election results, where people are now actually recognizing and comprehending what I've been saying and beginning to take those talking points and put them towards their audiences, even if I still remain a dissident name which is outcast and nobody names me and nobody mentions the Hugh. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that I was right on every occasion. Nobody wants to talk about that, so they outcast me and shove me to the side. They just take the points that I say, and in a way, it's kind of endearing, I gotta say. It's kind of endearing, the fact that I have this glooming aura around me where it's like a cautionary zone, a contamination zone. where they're not allowed in my area. You know, it happens with everybody. It happened with Liam. Remember Liam Tufts offered me to go on his podcast about 3-4 months ago? Yeah, about 4 months ago. That just never happened. Me and Liam just never ended up having that conversation because it was kind of like, okay, we'll throw this offer at Hugh that he'll come on the show. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. And then it just kind of never happened. And there's a really obvious reason for that. You give me more of a platform, you give me more of a voice, especially when you've got like the Tommy Todd crowd, when you've got like the Lotus Eaters crowd, like the very baseline, kind of naive voter, the average person that's voting among party lines, the very naive aspect that we have towards this. I come in, I say exactly what's going to happen. I tell you exactly why these people are a threat, exactly how our politics should be working. And then all of a sudden, people go, huh, that's interesting. I noticed this as well. I had a bit of a boost after the Makerfield by-election because everything I'd said about the fact that Restore will come out and it will condemn the neo-Nazis, far-rights, ethno-nationalists, that happened. I said they would underperform, that happened. I said the candidate was weak, and now they're saying, oh, actually, yeah, you're right, the candidate was weak. And I said that Burnham is really popular, he will surprise you, and he will instantly start rounding up Labour MPs and gaining mass amounts of support. And that's already happening. And what you will see in the next local elections, as I am predicting, Labour will do a lot better, especially up here in the north. I nearly said up down, that doesn't make any sense. Up here in the north.